Why does the narcissist blame you for their bad behavior? It's not random. It's a tactic called projection, and it's time you saw through it. Hi everyone, welcome back to this channel on narcissism. Today, we're going to take on one of the hallmarks of narcissistic relationships, blame shifting, or as it's also known, projection. Let's break this down. I also have a free guide for you called the Narcissist Recovery Starter Kit. Link in the description below. First off, what is projection? Well, literally it means to project. You know, like movie time at the theater when they project something from somewhere else onto a screen. What is being projected? Blame. The narcissist is taking their own unacceptable qualities and placing them onto someone else. It's kind of like a hand-me-down, but instead of hand-me-down clothing or furniture, it's hand-me-down character flaws and bad behavior. They don't want those things in themselves, so they must get rid of them. But they do not want to acknowledge that they have these things in themselves, because to do so would mean acknowledging that they are not perfect, which is anathema to the narcissist. So instead, they find a place to put it, and it's usually the nearest available person. Which is why people who are in relationships with narcissists often feel like a psychological dumping ground. And you may be asking yourself, well, why do they do that? Why do they project all of their stuff onto me? And the answer is complex. There are multiple reasons. One reason is that projection is a defense mechanism. And narcissism is basically one big defense mechanism wrapped in a series of other defense mechanisms. Projection allows them to protect their fragile ego and maintain the false self that they've constructed. It also lets them avoid dealing with their own inner turmoil and contradictions. They don't want to look at that stuff in themselves. Another reason is power. By projecting their unacceptable traits onto someone else, they can then manipulate and control that other person by making them believe that those traits belong to them. It's sort of like saying, you are wrong, but they make it seem like they're saying, you are the one who is wrong. They essentially shift the blame or responsibility for their own mistakes. Bad behavior, lies, cheating, abandonment issues, whatever, onto someone else, along with any and all of the negative feelings that come with it. Once they project it, they can then rage about it or cry about it or be devastated about it, all as a way to regulate, but in a very dysregulated fashion. And it's all done while completely missing the irony that they are the ones who possess those qualities. They are so upset about in the person they've projected them onto. Think about it. They might scream at you. How could you do this to me? How could you treat me like this? And the only thing you can think is, I'm the one being treated badly by you right now. But because the narcissist is unable to have any empathy towards another person, they cannot see that they are causing you pain. It's all about them. Their pain is always real. Your pain is never seen. One of the reasons projection works so well for the narcissist is that they are completely absorbed in themselves. They can't really think beyond their own needs and wants and how others reflect on them. Because of this egocentric focus, they do not ever really consider that maybe they are the ones behaving in the awful way that they are accusing you of. Let's take some examples to illustrate this. A narcissist might say to you, "Oh, you are so inconsiderate. You never think of other people." And if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you may have thought to yourself, "Well, actually, I was just thinking about other people." But even if you were thinking about other people, it wouldn't matter because the narcissist isn't capable of understanding that. And in fact, they are so fully convinced that they are the ones who are considerate that they might accuse you of being accusatory. They may tell you, "You are always accusing me of things." And again, you might say, "I'm not accusing you of anything. I was just saying I was thinking of someone else for a change." But the narcissist doesn't hear that. What they hear is a threat to their grandiose sense of self. No one could possibly be more considerate than they are. And if you dare say otherwise, you are simply being a troublemaker. In fact, in narcissistic relationships, you will frequently hear phrases like "you're too sensitive," or "you're taking things too personally," or "you're always making things into a bigger deal than they are." All of these are ways to invalidate your reality and experience. They are trying to convince you that you are misreading things and misinterpreting their behavior, when in actuality, they are the ones who are misreading and misinterpreting things. For example, you may notice that the narcissist in your life is actually really aggressive. But they may say to you, "You are the aggressive one. You always jump to the conclusion that I'm angry at you. You're always pushing things away." You may say, "I'm not pushing things away. You're the one who keeps pulling away." But again, The narcissist does not process that. Instead, they will often respond to you, "That's not true. I'm not doing any of those things. You're the one who is always creating conflict. You're always twisting things. You're too emotional. You need to get over this and stop acting so crazy." Many times they will use terms like psycho, psychotic, borderline, crazy, bipolar, as if these are somehow discrediting terms, which they certainly are. But the irony here is that they are the ones who are psychotic, who are out of touch with reality, who are manic or depressed or both, who are borderline crazy, who are the ones who are highly dysregulated. These are all patterns associated with various personality disorders, especially those within the cluster B personality disorders, which are characterized by dramatic, emotional, or erratic behaviors. Yet the narcissist will use these terms as though you are the one who is mentally ill. It's important to remember that people with narcissistic personality style do not see themselves as having any mental health difficulties. In fact, they quite often assume that they are superior in some way because of their narcissistic characteristics. They may have an inflated view of their intelligence, creativity, or specialness. So the terms they use to describe you are actually descriptive of themselves. Think about it. You may notice that the narcissist in your life is actually really entitled, but they may say to you, "You're too needy. You always expect me to do everything for you. You never let me have space." You may say, "I'm not needy. I'm not expecting you to do everything for me. You're the one who always expects me to wait on you hand and foot." But again, the narcissist does not process that. Instead, they will often respond to you, "That's not true. I don't need you to do anything for me." It's always the other way around. You're the one who is needy and clingy, and you need to learn to be more independent. Narcissistic projection is a form of gaslighting. It's a way to confuse you and make you doubt yourself and your reality. But there are ways to counteract it. Tune into your own intuition. If you feel that you are being blamed for something that you didn't do, then trust yourself. Recognize that the narcissist is probably projecting their own behavior onto you. It's also helpful to be aware of the different defense mechanisms that narcissists use, including projection. Knowing what they are can help you to recognize when they are being used against you and not take the bait. You can remind yourself that the narcissist is not being genuine when they accuse you of things. They are simply trying to protect themselves and their fragile ego. Remember that narcissistic people are incapable of taking responsibility for their actions. They will always blame you, other people, external circumstances. Basically, they blame everyone except themselves. This is a fundamental aspect of the narcissistic personality. They're unable to be accountable, full stop, ready to break the cycle of confusion and self-doubt. Download the free Narcissist Recovery Starter Kit, your first step toward clarity, healing, and empowerment. Link in the description below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for weekly insights that help you reclaim your peace. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where you are being blamed for something that you did and do, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you are dealing with a narcissist. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. Don't get drawn into an argument with them. Just let them keep on blaming you. Know that it's not personal. Yeah, it's just the narcissist being the narcissist. Thanks again for watching.